Hi guys, my name's Chelsea Tiley and I am a leader at Christian Life Center, and I'm super excited to continue our Bible study over the book of John. I'm reading from chapter 9 today. It's Jesus healing a man born blind. So if you haven't read it yet, I encourage you to read it afterwards. It's one of my absolute favorite stories in the book. So, pretty much Jesus is walking with his disciples and they come across a man born blind, and his disciples ask Jesus, hey, why is this man blind? Is it because he has sinned, or is it because his parents have sinned? And to which Jesus replies in verse 3, neither this man nor his parents sinned, but this happened so that the work of God might be displayed in his life. As long as it is day, we must do the work of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. So Jesus had already planned to meet this man and to do a miraculous miracle in order to show people that there is hope, that Jesus is light. And so then Jesus spits in mud and he puts the mud in the man's eyes and he says, go wash your face. So he goes and washes his face and he's able to see. And so people in the town are like, this is not the same person. You were born blind and now you see. Like, what did you do? And he says, I met a man and he spit in mud and he gave me my sight. And so the people in the city did not believe this man, and so they took him to the Pharisees, to which the Pharisees then said, how then did you get your sight? So this blind man then says the same exact thing. He met a man and he spit in mud and now he sees. And then again, these Pharisees do not believe him because this is something that is a miracle. This doesn't just happen. I want you to picture being in their shoes. A man born blind now sees. And so then the Pharisees bring in the blind man's parents and they ask his parents, is this your son? And was he born blind? And how can he see? So the parents responded and they said, this is our son. He is born blind. How he sees, we don't know. Go ask him. And so then they ask him again, how can you see? Which I think is just funny because they just keep asking him. And I love his response in 25. He replies, whether he is a sinner or not, I don't know, referring to the man that gave him his sight, which we know is Jesus. One thing I do know, I was blind, but now I see. And then in verse 27, he answers, I have told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciples too? So this man has repeated himself 3 different times now, and the Pharisees, people in the town, they cannot believe that a man born blind is able to see. But we know, going back to verse 3, that Jesus is the light of the world, and that he was born blind so that it could do a miracle in his life. If you jump down to the very end of this chapter, and when Jesus then meets this man again, so the blind man then gets kicked out of the Pharisees, and he runs back into Jesus. And Jesus says to this man, I have come into this world so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind. And so let this be an encouragement to you guys. Whether you are going through something, a temptation, a struggle of yourself, maybe a season where you're in the valley. But I want you to know that God is the light of the world. So cling to that verse, memorize that scripture if you need to. And he takes blind men. He takes people like you and me, imperfect people, and he uses us in ways that we cannot even imagine. And so in these seasons, I strongly encourage you to cling onto his word, spend more time with him, and just read about these stories in John about how Jesus is using these unusual people, these people that no one really gives a second look at, and he uses them for his glory. And I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to continue to use you as well. So stay around, and tomorrow you will hear about John chapter 10.